Guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last episode of Beat the Drop, and you guys loved it so much that we've got all the guys back together and looking to make this happen on a weekly basis. So welcome to Beat the Drop, where we have a full house of everyone representing. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are well, and welcome to episode 2, I guess we're going to call this, of Beat the Drop. Oh, there's been some movement and some shakers since we last met. Some of you got more cocky, some have got a lot less cocky as well. And we've also got 2 new faces as well representing their boys. Scott, how you doing, buddy? From the now named new channel, was formerly Sweet and Sour Soccer, now is...
Wolfie TV, so as you might guess, we're a Wolves fan channel now, and probably don't want to be shouting that too loud after the late goal, but...
Well, we'll talk about that. Some may say you've just made a channel dedicated to me, maybe. I don't know. It's good to have you on board, buddy. And we've got the man himself, Rich. Rich, how you doing, matey? Representing Crystal Palace in the house.
Yeah, the channel is Eagle Eyed Football. Thank you for the invite as well. And it's squeaky one time. So Saturday's result did help.
Thank you so much. We owe you.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it, chappy. Save you your thanks and everything there. Guys in the chat, everyone's description, YouTube, socials, everything is in the link. Please make sure you get on it. You give them all a follow. They're all giving up their valuable time to do this, so make sure you show them some love and some respect as well. Just go follow on everyone. It's free to do. All right, there's a lot to talk about, right? We've had changes in moods in a huge way from last time, in both positive and negative way. And can we just have a massive shout out to Mike for having the guts to still be here, Mike. Mike, we love you for coming on. I respect you. I see you're in black today in mourning.
Indeed. I didn't expect the same dedication from any of you lot. You know, if it's we're here, good or bad, right? So, can't get any worse.
We're not going to pretend. We'll pretend our tech doesn't work, are we?
Well, that does happen from time to time.
Laggy again. Oh, I'm losing it. Yeah.
Mike, I guess I want to start with a simple question. Is Southampton gone?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, think about it. We've got 9 games to go. 3 of them against City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. 2 of which are arguably at home. We're a game behind everyone else. And we can't score goals. So, in terms of how it went yesterday, I mean, West Ham deserved nothing, and we somehow deserve less than that. So it was it's a mess, absolute mess. But
you were better than them, if I'm being honest. I thought Southampton played better. Jace, you're shaking your head there. Jace, you gotta be honest, mate.
You know what? No, listen, right. I have to admit, West Ham weren't great. But we know how to win. That's the thing. We know how to get out. We know how to get out of these scraps.
You've won 7 games all season. What do you think you know how to win? The European Conference Cup.
This is it. We're ready for this. I told you, we're ready for this.
It was a terrible game.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm telling you now, we played poor. We had one person up front who barely could do anything by himself. No help at all. But like I said, we just know what to do, so we just get it done, don't we? So there you go.
Mike, are you buying this?
And you win.
The sooner I'm off this channel, the better. As soon as I climb up on this channel, I will be gone from here. All right. So
how many months do you think you need to get off the channel then, Jace?
Well, we'll just very quickly, Pat, thank you so much for gifting a membership. And Louise is the lucky recipient of that membership. Thank you so much, Pat. Mike, are you buying what he's saying there? Do you feel like they knew how to win yesterday? Because it was a case of you created a lot and they did nothing apart from scoring an offside goal.
I mean,
hold on a sec.
It didn't take me long to see it was onside. I mean, effectively, one of our players who wouldn't normally be starting again got pulled onto an onside position. But, we've done that in games before. It's just a naughty little trick that they do. The goal was a mess. The goal was an absolute mess, regardless of that. And it was just kind of like a nothing game yet again. But we did nothing really to deserve anything from it. I mean, it was a really woeful performance I think from both sides. I mean, the first 25 minutes, a pretty nervy display from West Ham, and I was kind of feeling that maybe there was something there. But once the goal went in, you know, West Ham sort of slipped into some kind of gear and just looked comfortable from there, really.
But you're only 4 points off, mate. I mean, is anyone else feeling it hard to banter him a little, or is it just me? Because
I feel really sorry. I just feel.
that's
sorry.
how I'm feeling. I don't know if that's the worst thing to come across, or.
In all fairness, I'm waiting till we play them, so that's what I'm keeping. I'm not saying anything. That game's huge for us as well, going to St Mary's. So.
The players as well.
We're all treading on thin ice, aren't we? All of us.
I can't.
The thing is, no result is predictable. I mean, anything can happen. You know, one of us could pull out an amazing result against one of the top teams. You wouldn't be shocked. These things happen. They happen all the time, especially towards the end of the season when the nerves kick in. So,
I thought they'd already kicked in.
Depends which club you are, Chappie, I think.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. Let's quickly touch it. I want to go around the houses going through the games quickly. The next one that interests me is obviously the Palace Leicester one, or the Leicester Palace one, should I say? Wait, which way round was it?
It was Palace Leicester, and
Palace Leicester. Thank you.
It was a one-sided affair. I'm sure Rich can almost confirm that it was a one-sided.
What was it, Rich? 31 shots.
Yeah, to 3.
I cannot believe it.
Disgusting, vile.
Can I say, if I was to tweet this out, yeah, don't forget this is April the 1st. Roy Hodgson's in charge. Palace have 31 shots in the game. Jordan Ayew assists Mateta for the winner in the 94th minute. Everyone would say, it's April Fools. April Fools.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but all in all, like, the intensity we had, it was lacking under Vieira. Yes, we had a terrible running, a very, very hard running of fixtures from the start of the year. Picked up some decent draws, picked up no wins. And I think a lot of fans were kind of like, when Vieira was kind of like seeing both sides. The one thing we did lack was intensity, and whatever Roy's done on the training ground, whatever he said to the players, it worked. Everyone looked like they had a smile on his face. Eze was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was.
It all seemed like they were just happy again. And if that's what's going to keep us safe, then Roy, you do your thing. You do your thing.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how bad Leicester.
We were poor. I mean, defensively, we blocked a lot. We stopped you coming through, but I mean, you can't do that for 90 minutes, and that seems to be the only game plan we had. Going forwards, we're a mess. There's nothing. We're hoping for an individual performance. You know, we're hoping for a Madison, or that's it. To be honest with you,
I was going to say, who else you got, Chappie?
Oh God, it's so bad.
I mean, Pereira took his goal very well.
He did, but again, it's just a moment of individual play. There's nothing. There's no teamwork-based gameplay. There's nothing that I see about Leicester's attacking that's exciting me at all. So for me, you did us a favour because we can maybe reset now.
Well, just before we move on to what happens next with you, Lee, had they not scored that 95th minute goal, would you have looked at it and thought,
Nah, he had to go. He had to go. Come on, we've been piss poor constantly. We are getting outplayed at home. We're not scoring goals, not creating chances. And again, like I just said, we are relying on one fucking player. This is a team sport. Can't keep relying on James Maddison. Something's got to change.
John, do you reckon they're better off with or with Gorridge, yeah?
So I was just going to say, I agree. Because if a Roy Hodgson side is having 31 shots, there's a problem.
Big time. Big time.
I saw Anderson was basically playing as a cam for most of that match. They had you so pinned back. But yeah.
It was on onslaught, honestly. It was either Zaha or Eze. It was just constant. There was just nothing for Leicester to even talk about.
When you think just recently, Palace went 3 games without even having a single shot on target. It is quite a remarkable stat, that 33 shots in.
Yeah. Thanks. Keep reminding me, Ant. It was
the biggest difference in shots from two teams this season.
It was disgraceful.
There's been no bigger difference in any game, and you think this was Roy Hodgson Palace side. Again, it's April Fool's Day to the max on that
Yeah.
one.
And Forest have
never
played away
believe-
at Man City already, you know, so that's, and they've done worse than that. Bloody hell.
Chappie, what did the atmosphere get bad when Palace were battering you, basically?
The atmosphere was. I think the Leicester fans were almost turned on Rodgers from about 13th minute, from what I've been told. It was an onslaught. You know, sack. You know, the board and all that. You know, just.
You can understand that.
But it's been a long time. It's been a long time. It should have gone 12 months ago. It should have been gone a long time ago.
But even before we played you earlier on in the season, we won't go over the scoreline.
Well,
But
no,
that
because
game, he was going
up.
at the end of that one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then
I
we
think
saved him.
He got two little decent results. You know, just off the it was just after the New Year, I think it was, with Villa and Spurs that saved him. I think that saved him. It just, I suppose, it just painted over the cracks, didn't it?
But what's hilarious is he's being linked with Tottenham now. I mean, it's crazy.
They can have him. They can have him because he does quite well in his first probably season and a half at any club. You know, he is one of those kind of players. He's not long term. Managers. He's not long term. He's a quick fix.
Yeah.
Just a quick. I just want to give you an observation, John. I was going to ask you, John. Looking at it from a Bournemouth perspective, right?
Cheers.
Are you happy he's gone, or would you rather he stayed?
Oh, well, I'd rather he would have gone until after we play them on the weekend.
New manager bounce.
Could be new manager bounce. Well, to be honest, you know, you can look at a few clubs and, well, Crystal Palace has won. We'll see what Tottenham do. We'll see what Chelsea do. How many clubs have just gone and sacked their manager and then immediately just turn out a better performance? Heck, when Conte went to hospital, that one match he wasn't there. They beat Man City in that game. He rushed back, clearly wasn't well enough, and they turned out one of their worst games of the season afterwards. So sometimes just literally just having a different man on the sidelines can change things. But what I was going to ask actually, Chappie, is I know obviously right now, you know, you'd be happy if you never saw him again for the rest of your life, but obviously he got you fifth twice.
Yeah. I was going to answer
that. You can say yes, he should have done better because you were in the Champions League playoffs for a while. But he got you fifth twice, and he got you an FA Cup. Now, if you'd never won the league, that's probably the most successful period of the Leicester supporters' life in at least a generation, if not longer. Like, what do you look back on as the? Obviously, you know, things are sour at the moment, but how do you look back on the Rodgers period?
Look, he's still going to go down eventually. It's at the minute, it's, you know, sour grapes, but a little bit later on, I think he will go down as not a legend, but I think he'll have a good legacy here. You know, like you said, he's the most successful manager outside of the one season of Ranieri, which was magic. All in all, I can't say a bad word about Brendan. It's just this last 18 months has really sloped. I don't know if it's not just about Brendan. I think maybe the club kind of lost a lot of money through COVID. I think we all have. A lot of the clubs have. And, you know, no players coming in the summer, I think, might have affected it. Some injuries. I know we all have injuries before we start. But we ain't got the biggest of squads. You know, we're not like Forest, but buy 30 players in a season. So, you know, I think he's had a lot to deal with, but I'm sorry, but he still had to go. Some of the stuff he was saying, like calling out players, there was when he was calling out fans as well at one point. I thought, mate, you got to go. And the last one that done me was, this team's overachieved for a few years. Like, even if you think that, you don't say it out loud, because when you're a manager of football, isn't that to win things, to try and win things? Not saying, we're overachieving.
Can I say from an outsider's perspective, I think him saying on Saturday that they didn't deserve to lose.
Oh, he's fucking delirious.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's always.
And that's
said
not the first time, Rich.
things, hasn't he?
Yes, that's not the first time. That's all season. All season.
I mean, he's just trying to save his job there, isn't he, really?
All season.
Can
It's
I
always
just-
the same.
Can I just bring out a rather interesting stat that I came across today, just to dampen Chappie's enthusiasm about any new manager bounce or anything like that. You know I don't go along with all that bullshit. It's an actual fact that since 1992, the formation of the Premier League, 39 clubs have replaced their manager at the end of March or later. And out of those 39 clubs, clubs, only 7 times have they finished higher than the position that manager came in to replace. So it really isn't a certainty that things are going to improve. Sorry about that, Chappie, but there you go.
I enjoyed that start, at least.
Leicester do have experience of
Leicester
coming from the
down
relegation
Chaps
zone and then with 9 games to go winning 7
Thank
on
you
the
very
bounce
much.
to survive. So if there's any team that's going to do it, then Leicester are probably the
I'll
most
tip
likely.
you all off. I'll tip you all off. Get some money down the bookies for us to win the Premier League next season as well.
Well, Chappie, you say that.
To 1 this time, Chappie.
Chappie, you say that, but big shout out to Pat for the £2. He says Leicester's going down, chaps. LOL. Are you, Chappie? Are you more confident or less confident now he's gone?
More confident now he's gone.
Okay, but who do you think you're gonna get? Because if you're gonna say Harry Potter,
I don't think it matters at this point. Him and the rumours of him falling out with certain players is enough for me to think, right, like, okay, let's reset. Rich can probably agree with that, like with Vieira and the back room. You know, I think a reset. I know it's a Cooper thing, a reset. I'm sure that someone said that in the chat a minute ago. But a reset was required. It was required.
Well, sometimes it's not necessarily the new manager coming in, is it, that gives the team a lift? It's the old manager going. I mean, I personally don't necessarily believe that Roy Hodgson coming in has turned them into this fantastic attacking machine. I think it's more like the players are feeling relieved and more free.
Yeah, the shackles were off,
Yeah.
do you agree with that, Rich? Do you know what do you think Roy has done since he's come in that's changed it? Because he's a bit of a dinosaur. I mean, there's no debating that,
he
is
definitely
it?
is. I mean, I'll give him a bit of credit. Like the team we had before.
Firstly, sorry, Rich, to interrupt. Were you for him being the one coming back or not?
Don't go back to your ex again, surely.
Just checking.
How many times has he been at the club now?
Literally, let the man rest. For me, it looked as if there was no plan, and that's what I was annoyed about. All right, cool, sack Vieira, cool, but what's the plan?
Yeah.
So for me, thinking of bringing Hodgson back was ooh, this is panic stations. So that's what I thought. Then obviously international break was there, and it gave me a bit more time to think. And you're right in saying I don't think he's tactically gone and said, "Hey guys, master plan here."
Yeah.
I think he's literally just put an arm around a lot of these players' shoulders. He's obviously worked with a few of the players before, and what I was saying is that the team he had back then compared to the team he has now, our team's so much better.
They were so old before. They were so old before, weren't they? When
we've got a very good young squad. So he himself is actually in a better place than he was a couple of years back when
retirement home.
Rich, I've got to ask. Do you know if obviously he keeps you up? Do you reckon there's any chance for you giving another year?
No. You know what's crazy?
It's a great question, Scott. No, seriously. What if he goes dub all the way to the end of the season? You're not going to keep him?
No. Thank you, and go back.
Wow.
Go back to spend the time.
You user,
please.
such a user on these OAPs. How could you?
It is what it is. No, but in all fairness, when I'm hearing the names like Paulo Fonseca and Adi Huta being touted, not saying we're going to get them, but we're in a rebuild phase. This is the first time we can officially say we're actually rebuilding.
About time you rebuilt that stadium.
There's so much going on. Trust me. You got to look at the fact that we had an aging squad. Now we've got a young squad. We've got the academy set up. We can't go back to, like I said, dinosaurs. We can't. I'm sorry.
You're right.
The likes of Allardyce and Coppell and all. We got to move on from them. Get the young up and coming managers.
I can't believe for 1 second that they would renew his contract at the end of the season. I think if he keeps him up, he's £1 million, Roy. Thanks a lot. Let's get a young dynamic manager to manage those young dynamic players.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to move on to the other teams as well. I'm going to come to Scott and John in a second. I just want to ask Mike, just because it's hard. I feel sorry if you just look at he's looking at people talk about new managers and stuff. There's been talks that there was, I don't know how true they were, but Southampton were potentially going to look to sack their manager again to maybe get another manager bounce. I don't know if that was the case or looking to come in. Is there any truth in it, or is he staying?
I've heard nothing at all. I don't think there would be any merit in sacking Sellers now. I mean, effectively, he was an interim coach that suddenly was given a job until the end of the season. I don't see him making any changes now. I mean, if you look at the form table, since the World Cup, we're not rock bottom. I mean, it's not saying a lot. And actually, he has been able to pull together some decent results out of nothing. So, nothing's impossible, like you guys are saying. But I don't see any merit in sacking Sellers in search of someone else. Because he appears to have galvanised the squad a little bit.
Can you bring Jones back?
also, Mike, in my mind, it makes sense to wait till the end of the season to know what division you're going to be in, because that will affect the kind of manager that you can attract anyway.
Are you giving him a little slide backhand there, Ant, or is that a genuine question?
No.
But I think that was the problem actually when we were approaching new managers, because effectively all the managers we were approaching were wanting extended long deals beyond the end of the season without the guarantee of where it will be.
Come on, man.
£2 Pat McClough.
I know, we all
Forest
had to
till we
worry.
die.
But that was the reason why Jesse Marsch didn't come. I'm not sure that would have been a really great idea, because effectively he played the same kind of football Ralph Hasenhüttl does, and Sellers is kind of a similar kind of thing. It's risky football, and not very good defensively. So yeah, I haven't heard anything in regards to sacking Sellers, and
I think he's done all right, mate. I think he's done all right. I mean, you've had one win in the last 6, or 2 wins in the last 6, wasn't it? Something like that, which is more than Forest, Leicester, and who's the other one who's done nothing? Wolves, I think, combined. And Palace, yeah. So it's just you're starting too far back. You're giving yourselves too much of a mountain to climb, haven't you? I think that's what the problem is. Yeah. Pat, just a quick shout out to Pat with the £2. He's Forest till he dies. Absolutely, buddy. Thank you so much for the £2. And then I want to come to John. I want to talk about Bournemouth. Sorry, I mean Bournemouth. You're on the same amount of points as Forest, looking at the table. You have a worse goal difference than Forest, which takes some doing. Yeah, but it takes some doing, yeah.
That's just one bad game, though, wasn't
it? Liverpool 9-0, wasn't it?
I don't know why I brought that up. Why have I done that? Right, move on.
If any fan, Mike. If any fan.
Yeah.
But hang on a minute. What I would ask you, when they went 1-0 down, who cheered?
When who went 1-0
down?
Bournemouth. Did you go 1-0 down?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
I was just
I'm neutral. I can't put my hands up. Well, I do feel the point I'm getting to.
Very clear, Wolvie.
Well, no, wait. I just want to come to the question, right? The question is, you're on the same points as Forest now, yeah? But the Forest fan base seems to be scared, I would say, or nervous would be the word I would start to use. I don't know, Anne will correct me because I'm neutral tonight. But I feel with the Bournemouth fan base, you feel like you got a bit of momentum under your belts a little. Are you now starting to believe that maybe you can do this?
I don't think there was any Bournemouth fan that ever reached a point where they said we were definitely gone or we definitely wouldn't make it. We haven't really quite hit that quite rock bottom yet to sort of say, right, nothing's ever going to work anymore and we're just giving up now. Sorry, Mike. But
refreshing.
Hey, he said it first. But
should put
the thing is the thing is we're now.
It's begun. Didn't take long.
But the thing is that now we're actually out of the 9 of us down here. Bournemouth are highest in the form table. They've got 3 wins, 3 losses from their last 6, and one of those was. And in that time, we played Arsenal, Liverpool, and City. Beating Liverpool, obviously, that win against Fulham was massive, and we've actually after Palace, we've got the best running as well. We've still got to play apart from Forest and Wolves. We've still got to play everyone
£2 Pat
here.
McClough. We're Forest till we die.
We're probably looking at 3 wins to stay up, and we've got to play Leeds away. We've got to play Leeds at home. We've got to play Southampton away. We've got West Ham at home, which will be an interesting one if they're still in the Conference League. There's enough games there we can see points being achieved. And the thing is that this last game against Fulham, the first half just reminds me of how inexperienced Gary O'Neill is and how much he worries me. But then the second half, when he actually makes a change when something's going wrong and it all goes right, makes me go, no, we knew there was a good coach in there. Maybe he can do something about this, and we've got a good enough squad. With real.
But
good
you did fluke your way back into it with the Tavernier goal.
Yeah, but we had 3 XG in that game. The fact that we only scored 2
Don't
goals.
tell me this XG crap. Even Forest's XG was like 1.5 this weekend against Wolves, and theirs was 0.0001. XG is XG, man. Give me a scoreline, yeah.
But look, we had a goal off the line. We had a goal. There was a goal line clearance, but when we had 2 bites of the cherry, pardon the pun, within a couple of minutes of the start of the second half. Yeah, Tavernier put one in a screamer, but come on, how many times have Forest relied on a screamer to get something from a game as well this season? Or you've completely underperformed, and you've managed to just about get something from the game. Like, what was it? You had 1 shot on target against.
Don't look at me. I'm not Forest tonight. You gotta speak to Ant.
Just you do sometimes need a bit of magic to get you into a game, and we utterly deserved the second goal. So
Can I just ask Ant that question? Ant, when have you relied on Forest to get a 30-yard screamer this season?
Never. We haven't had one. I don't think we've scored a goal outside the box.
that shows you don't have players good enough to do that, then, do you?
Maybe.
Wow. Not fired.
But like I mentioned, sometimes when things aren't going your way, you can just get something from nowhere. But sometimes you get more than you deserve. Most of the season, we've gotten what we deserve. Nothing from a lot of games. But we've actually been very lucky that there's a lot of teams. Most of the teams in this fight have underperformed this season a lot. Bournemouth have got about what they deserve from this season. They are roughly on points tally where they should be. Most of these teams, Leicester, West Ham, Wolves, Palace, are really underperforming. And Bournemouth are really, really lucky that it's happened this way, because a different season, we would be well out of it at this point. We'd be cut adrift with a couple of other teams, and you'd be going, well, these 2 are down, it's 1 from the rest. But this season, any of us could stay up. Even Southampton, as much as Mike is disappointed, 2 results and you'll be outside the relegation zone. And that could happen. You pull a win against Chelsea and a draw against Man United out of nowhere, that could happen again.
John, ask Mike who they've got next.
Mike, who do you have next?
We have Manchester City.
Oh, easy game.
You've beaten them once this
I
season.
can't wait.
You've beaten them once this season, Mike.
That's true.
That's very true.
We're playing them at home, and even Nathan Jones Southampton could beat Man City at home. So
Who else
I
has
have no
got
idea.
big six sides
Don't
left?
forget, we drew with them at home. So,
Yeah, that's true.
I always say this. People go on about must win, and I'm quite well known for saying there's no such thing as must win, because you just don't know in football. There's no certainties. Freak results happen all the time. So don't count yourselves out. Mike.
How many big 6 sides have you all got to play?
Say that again, Lee.
How many big 6 sides have you all got left to play? We've got Man City as well, and we've got Liverpool.
Do they count this season?
Well,
3.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I want the Liverpool to play Bournemouth. That's the Liverpool I want. I want that one, please.
Yeah.
No, they're still
What
there. They're still
bloody
there.
Liverpool turned up that day? Seriously.
Same
Oh
one
wait,
that
I'm
turned
neutral.
against
Sorry,
City,
I'm
pretty
neutral.
much.
The thing is with Bournemouth, you're very good at once you get you've got that resilience about you. I remember when you played us, you just got 1-0 up and you just kept us out for the whole rest of the 90. You did all the good stuff like wasting time and just didn't care about it and got the result. And sometimes you just need that though, don't you? To be fair, and that's the one thing I worry about Bournemouth. You've kind of got that resilience when you do go in front, which other teams. I mean, we're one of them. We're quite easy sometimes just cave in and have a shock in 10-15 minutes where we can just all go to pot.
Well, Scott, let's talk about your boys. Sorry, John. Let me just bring Scott in, and then we'll jump back to you. Because I've defended Wolves quite a lot this season, saying they're a decent team, and Ant will verify it. He cusses me down for doing it. But you're crap in front of goal, man. What's gone on? Even under Locktegger, I thought he'd come in. And with Cunha that you brought in as well in the window, I rate him quite highly. And who's the one you got in the summer that's been really crap, that he destroyed us from Valencia? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's what's gone on? What's been wrong at Wolves? Even after the manager change, every Wolves fan is telling me that under Lopetegui you're way better and way more organised. But you are where you are in the league, and you're still in this fight. You know.
I think you can look at, like, obviously, like the game on Saturday. We had, what was it, 76% possession, yet we're lucky.
Wow, 72, mate. Don't have to yourself.
Okay, I gave ourselves an extra 4% there.
possession,
Still
yeah.
72. And to be fair, you were the better team. Like, I couldn't argue if you won 4-0, and I think that just summarises it.
£2, Pat
we've just
McCloll.
really
We're
not got
Forest
that,
till we
like,
die.
anything about us up front, you know, and I think it says it all when you're having to rely on a Diego Costa who had, 18 months out, 12 months out before signing for us on a free. You know, that's what we're having to rely on, basically, to stay up, essentially.
I think Forest.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
I think Forest.
You know, but we've just not got anything in front of goal, and I think with that as well, you look at, like, you know, at times we've got that defensive frailty. And I think similar to what's really not helped Graham Potter with getting the sack. The problem is with Lopetegui, he's a brilliant manager, but he doesn't know his best team. We're changing it every week. He can't make his mind up. I think it's a bit like, obviously, like Forest boys with Cooper when he got all those players in. He kept rotating, and I think he's probably got a little bit better at it now with keeping a bit more of a recognised squad, but at some point, I think Lopetegui, if we've got any chance, has just got to make a decision. But at the moment, rotates.
Are you worried, Scott? Are you still worried? Because you were poor. I mean, and they're probably one of the weakest we've seen at the City Ground in recent times, wouldn't you say?
My favourite quote about Wolves is that they're like a man that's fantastic at foreplay but got no penis.
Yeah.
And that was highly evident against us on Saturday. Honestly, I wasn't concerned at all. They got the goal, okay. It was a deflection off the defender that went to it wasn't like a build-up that Pedent scored. It was deflected off the defender, went to him. Fit play, no issue with that. That happens. But we had so many chances. I mean, as I say, you had 72% of possession, and we could have won 4-0 quite easily. And that for a Wolves fan, I mean, the Wolves fans that I saw after the game, they were all saying, I can't believe we got a point out of it. You know, and if that's, I've said all along, and Wolverine will back me up on this, people keep saying to me, Wolves are a good side, West Ham are a good side. And I'm saying, if they're a good side, they've had 25 games to prove that. They're in the shit. Why do you assume that they're all of a sudden going to start playing scintillating football and be brilliant? They're not. They're not good sides. That's why they are where they are. Sorry, I don't mean to, you know.
No, but you are right, to be fair, and I think it's one of them where we've just not really got the players where it matters. You know, we've obviously got a good midfielder in Ruben Neves. Matheus Nunes, there's a player in there somewhere. I think he just turned up with the wrong attitude. He kept us waiting for 3 months. He wanted someone like Liverpool or City to come in for him, and when they didn't, it was just like, all right, then I'll sign for Wolves. And I think he just thought it was going to be a walk in the park, and he's just not looked like he's took any accountability. He's not really that interested at times, and we've definitely not seen the best of him. And I hate to say it, we're missing a Morgan Gibbs-White. We're missing someone that can create something. We generally are, and I hate to say it, but I mean, a lot of Wolves fans have a lot of like hatred towards Morgan Gibbs-White, and you know, he wasn't the perfect professional with us, but at the end of the day, if he was a bad player, well, not that celebration. I mean, to be fair, Podence did that celebration, did he, when he got the goal? But
yeah,
Podence had a different style of celebration towards Jono, didn't he?
Oh, honestly, if it's found that he spat, I think he should get banned for the rest of the season. I generally do, because I think that's the lowest thing you can do. Like, I'm not going to stick up for him if he did.
Can I say on that? I was directly with them. Now, obviously, I was fairly close to the pitch, and I was directly in line with them. And I can't see spit come out, but what I noticed was I didn't notice spit, but I noticed Jono also went like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I thought, why would you do that if someone just blew you a kiss? It literally like stopped in his tracks and went like that. I mean, that's what makes me think maybe it was, you know.
I mean, it was interesting watching VAR trying to like slow it down to try and like basically see the spit, whether it came out his mouth or not.
The motion of spit.
Yeah, literally.
That's what
we going to draw the lines for that
we
one
couldn't
as well.
see anything come out of his
Draw
mouth.
the lines.
We couldn't see anything come out of his mouth.
But yeah, that's what it looked like they were doing, just literally trying to zoom in and see if they could pick up on anything, and obviously they couldn't. But
confirmed.
VAR decision.
But you are in trouble. You are in trouble. I want to bring Jason there. Oh, before I do, quick thank you to KK KL for subscribing to the channel. And can everyone who is sitting there watching, please do hit the like button if you haven't already. And more importantly, guys, subscribe to all these legends that are on here. All their channels, all the links you need are in the description below. But please do hit that like button. Jace, obviously you're our designated Everton score watcher. How's it been?
The Everton one.
Yeah.
Everton game. I'm not watching it.
It's
I thought you were.
Everton have wasted tons of chances. It's still 0-0, 35 minutes played.
We are all in agreement here because Mike will be on at half time.
Yeah,
he's
he is,
promised. So we all want him to be Mike, sad Mike, don't we? That's what we want.
According to the news that just popped up, Graham Potter has rejected the Leicester job. According to
No way! I thought he was a shoo-in, mate.
No, I saw that on talk. I saw that reported before we went live.
Yeah, it's just popped up.
I thought he would definitely go from Champions League football down to, Midlands, Leicester Championship potentially football. I'm shocked at that one.
Will I ask Scott a question? Well, I will do anyway.
Like I can give you permission.
Yeah. Naughty Ruben got another booking, didn't he, against us, which I believe means he misses the next 2 matches. Is that a concern for you? Because he does seem quite pivotal in your team.
Yeah, it is a real. That's a concern. I think he's the main man at the end of the day. It's like if you had to take, I don't know, Maddison out of Leicester, for example. Like he is that to us, and I think we've got another problem as well. That we've got like one fit right back, and if Semedo picks up another yellow card in the next 3 games, he also gets a 2-game ban. So, yeah, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good, and yeah, I mean. I don't know where the goals are going to come from, though. That's our main concern. I think, is it 23 and 29 games? I mean, that says it all, doesn't it, really?
You know what, as well, Scott? It wasn't the fact that players were missing chances. It was the fact that you weren't creating any. You had a lot of, obviously, we've said, you had a lot of possession, but that ball was being... I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the passing was fantastic. Some of the spraying of the balls out and that, but you never got into the box.
I mean, it's one plan in it. It's get the ball to Adama and hope that he can do anything. And like Adama's an Olympic sprinter. He's not a football player. He's an Olympic sprinter that just can't kick a ball. But every so often,
his end product is
it's awful. So that's what we've been relying on all season. And unfortunately, that's why we haven't really got the goals.
Yeah. Just quickly, a couple of guys in the chat were asking where Oscar is from All Leeds TV. He's working tonight, so couldn't make it, but he will be back on next week. Jace, right, before Ant interrupted me, right? Obviously, you boys at West Ham Fan TV have been swinging away at me this week. Suddenly, Nicky's remembered my, my Twitter handler. I've been getting some gifts from him and everything, all because I think you're ahead of us on goal difference. Yeah. But you got Newcastle next, mate. And then I think Fulham on the weekend.
Yeah.
How many points are you getting out of this?
I think 4 points out of that. I think.
What?
4 points. I think we'll get a draw against Newcastle, and we'll beat.
A draw against Newcastle. Did you watch him yesterday?
Yeah, that was Man United, isn't it? So.
He has got a point.
I love the confidence.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
Listen, they're on the same points as. What's his name again? What was that other geezer's name? The Man United one, the previous one. What's his name?
Ollie.
No,
Ollie, the other one.
The other one.
Ranić.
Ranić.
Pretty much on the same points again, and they were slating him.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Ten Hag is a fucking fraud, I'm telling you.
He's a fraud.
Yeah.
He's a fraud. He's getting away with it. He won a Carabao Cup.
Yeah, it's been an absolute fortune.
He's won a Carabao Cup, and they're in they're in the Europa League. Sorry, not Conference Cup, which is the best cup of them all.
He's relying on
he's in the Europa League. What I mean?
When's that coming back anyway, Jace? When are you do the Europa Cup?
Sorry, say that again.
When are you do your Conference League game?
I think that's next Thursday. So. We're in that.
Yeah, you've got. Let's have a quick look at your run.
Listen, our run of fixtures is going to be tough, right?
Is it 9?
You've got the hardest run, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got a hard run coming up. We've got some big boys we're playing as well.
So
it's going to be tough for us. Listen, I'm not going to lie to us, right? We're not playing the best. David Moyes is like that. That bit of something in your teeth that you can't get rid of. You're trying to get it out, and you're kind of trying to get rid of it.
Must be a London thing.
And he won't leave, but it's just in your teeth. That's him at the moment.
Because at the moment, Jace, only you and Forest are the two teams that haven't sacked the manager you started with this season out of all the boys here, including as well Leeds and Everton.
Yeah.
So are you happy about that or not?
No, of course I'm not happy about it. I think the man is. I tell you now, David Moyes he's done. He's done with us.
Even if he wins you the Eurovision Song Contest.
Can't take us any more further, to be honest. I'm surprised I'm telling you now, right? Oh, sorry. I'm just telling you right now. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of him. He gets away with it with these 1-0 wins, and he's a fraud. Again, he's a fraud. He is a fraud. He's getting away with everything because he's just winning here and there. He doesn't win games that we need to win. He's just winning these little silly games against Southampton. But you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Mike, if it makes you feel better, Forest lost 4-0 there.
Probably will survive, but he's going to get found out and he needs to go at the end of the season. He needs to go. That's all I'm saying.
All right, but Jace, let me ask you this, right? He wins you the Eurovision Song Contest and he survives. You think he goes?
No, that's a nice little send-off for him, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you think whatever you want? What do you think? What do you think the powers that be will do?
Like, I don't know, Leicester or somewhere, or Southampton or whatever. Do well for them, innit?
No, I'm alright.
Do you know what I mean? We need to progress now.
Yeah, but who are you going to get in that's better? Who's on the top of your shopping list? Realistically, don't go lawless on me and start saying Poch and stuff.
Listen, come on. Listen, if we win the Conference Cup, baby, Europa, we're going to get the big boys. We're going to get the big managers in, aren't we? Or maybe we'll just get Uncle Roy in again. I don't know. We'll get Uncle Roy
again.
Yeah.
My God.
So,
Jace, are there any?
Jace, can you hear Ant?
Barely. He's really quiet.
That's unusual for me. I was going to say, are there any of your fan base at all that still back your manager, or is the fan base totally united?
It's getting really toxic. You've got a very small base of people, fans that are, oh, what are you talking about? You know, look at what he's done for us the last 2 seasons. That's the last 2 seasons. Who gives a shit about the last 2 seasons? It's all about now. It's all about today. It's not about yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Who cares about that?
Agreed.
No one should. He shouldn't be talking about shit about that. That's the problem.
Yep.
That is the problem with him. And then I'm telling you now. He needs to go. He needs to go.
But does that not buy him credit? I know you're saying you agree, Chappie, but that didn't work.
That's exactly how our fan base has been with Rodgers. That's exactly the same thing. Oh, but he won us the FA Cup in 2021.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, that was 2 years ago. That's a long time in football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for a club with no history, that is good for you.
I know that.
Going, oh, we got us in the semi-final of the Conference Cup and stuff like that. But that was last season. That was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I get it. I get it more with Leicester fans. Yeah, with your lot, Jace, I don't get it because your cupboard's empty, mate. Oh, apart from the Intertoto Cup, isn't it?
That's the big cup. Thank you very much, Intertoto. That's a very important cup. That is. Thank you very much. But listen, like I said, listen. He's done well for us the past 2 seasons, but we're looking at today, right? We're looking at the results. We're looking at everything, right? Even Mike's even said it. We played poorly, didn't we? You have to admit it. We did play poorly, right? Mm-hmm. We just got away with it. We did get away with it because we are West Ham, and that's what we do.
We were worse, yeah.
But that's what.
Yeah, but Mike, were you? I don't think you were worse.
There was nothing in that game at all that was exciting. Really, was there, Mike?
No,
nothing at all. You couldn't,
the quality in that game was
the quality was poor from both of us.
That was a game as to who could play worse, and Southampton won that competition. It wasn't.
It was shocking. It was shocking, John.
I went through the highlights of our watch along, and I got one clip. That's it.
Yeah.
One clip. The thing is, Mike.
I've got nothing. It's done nothing for my TikTok revenue. That it's garbage. In the bin.
The thing is, Mike, I sat down yesterday with some popcorn and everything. I messaged you saying, I was feeling a bit down about the Forest Wolves.
I got your messages. Just you okay, hun? All those ones.
But I sat down to watch your stream. Yeah, it was like 12 minutes long. I was like, the popcorn's still full, man. I was looking for some more therapy. It was like I didn't even feel like you boys had it in you to talk any longer about it, Mike. It was like, have you got to that broken stage?
we'd sat there for 2 hours and I was thinking that I just can't do a reaction to this. We just want to like forget and move on and hug our children and love life. And
Man's killing me here.
Yeah. Mike's down bad.
It can't be that bad.
Did you utter the immortal words, "I hate football"?
Why am I doing this?
Channel. Can I do that?
The thing is, Mike, I don't want to depress you any further. I'm just looking at your fixtures. So we've established you got, Man City next. So you're at home though. That's a good omen.
We're at home.
Then you got Rich coming your way. It's at the weekend, isn't it, Rich?
Yep, following
So
Saturday.
it's back to back at home. And then you get to go to Arsenal away.
Friday night.
And then it's John's boys. It's
Not looking good.
The thing that we're all guilty of is that you say, "Oh God, we've got Arsenal, we've got Liverpool, we've got such and such," and then you kind of think, "Oh, but we're playing Palace or we're playing Wolves, but they're just as hard."
Yeah.
There's no guarantees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, famously, we had Bournemouth and Fulham back-to-back home matches. And all the fans, we'd played hard games previously, and all the fans were saying, "Oh, we've got Bournemouth and Fulham. We lost them both, at home." So you know what I mean? There's no guarantees, is there?
Well, it's the thing with it's because Bournemouth fans were feeling like that in terms of the Big Six, the games against the Big Six. Is that you go up against City and you think, oh well, there's a free hit. You've got Arsenal, there's a free hit. And you keep going through those, and eventually, when you don't get anything, like Bournemouth have the only points we've got against the Big Six this season is our win at home to Liverpool. And by the time we got to that Liverpool game, we're like, these can't be free hits anymore. There isn't a single game you can look at. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You can't look at a game and go, well, it's okay if we don't get anything from that because at least we've got, this team coming up after. It's like this. You can't look at that anymore. And it was the way with, and I'm sure every fan here has probably looked at their run-in and gone, oh, I think we could get a win there. We could get a draw there. And it's like, I don't see us getting anything from that game.
Vardy's food lol.
You kind of just got to try and get something from everything. You can't do.
Like as I was saying about football 2 years, how things change. Like me and Jace, for example, we'd have looked at our fixtures, and right now the fixtures I've got right in front of me right now. 2 years ago, I'd have probably gone 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and I'd have gone about 20, 25 points out of this. 20 points maybe.
Where the hell did you think you were 2 years ago, Chappie?
But now I'm looking. But that's how confident I was compared to now. I'm looking at it and thinking, fucking hell, 8 points max, 7 at best. Yeah. Is that going to keep us up? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what are you on now? You're on 25. That would get you to 32. Is that enough, Lee?
I don't know. Is that enough? I'll ask you lot.
I think you need 36, I reckon it's going to be about 36.
You reckon 36?
Yeah.
Well, there isn't 36 points there. No, it's not happening.
Rich, you're semi-targeting 34, aren't you? As a bare minimum there. Do you think that's enough? Because you've got yourself down for 4 points from the next 2 games. I don't know how you're getting that, but go on.
Well, first and foremost, I said it's the target. I didn't say we're definitely getting it.
But what I'm saying, is that your baseline for survival?
Yeah. Because I think the home games, our home games will see us through and such. But I don't want us to get dragged in because of the away games. And our away form's pretty bad,
You know what, Rich? We're playing last game of the season. We're at your place.
Yeah.
Half time, by the way.
Oh God, Mike's going to come on.
After Leeds and Southampton away, it's Everton at home. So hopefully by then, if we get the 4 points away from home, and then we beat Everton at home, that's 7 points. I think that should be enough for us.
You might be on the beach then.
Yeah, but Rich,
on the other hand, you might get no points.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
100%.
Yeah, Rich, on that point Ant just made, you're in quite a dangerous position because if you pick up any L's, you're basically losing 6 points, aren't you? I know it's the whole 6 pointer, but this really is 6 pointers for you, pretty much all the way in.
Yeah, every game is, and that's why I said I was saying on my channel beforehand, that Leicester game was huge.
Yeah,
like, we had to, and it's not even so much just the points; it's momentum. We hadn't won a game all year. We didn't know what that felt like.
Was it New Year's Eve? We love breaking records. I'm sure it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth away.
Yeah,
It was our
great.
last win.
Oh God,
John shakes his head.
I'm glad I missed most of that game. We were freaking.
Bear in mind, obviously, I know we had like Man United twice, Brighton, Brentford, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham. We had it was so bad as a running, but honestly, Saturday was so important, and it's all about just churning points. Even if we get 2 draws in this next 2 away games, we're still getting points, and that's the most important thing.
The thing is, Rich, I'll be straight with you. When you came to the City ground, yeah, you were a bit like Wolves. I don't know if Ant would agree with me. There was a lot of ball play and all this stuff, but no end product. I know we're talking now the last game before the World Cup break. It was a while back now, but it seems like you got worse for a while longer after that. But are you worried about your goal scoring side of things? Because it seems to be that's the key. If you're not, if you haven't got Zaha in there, if you haven't got, how do you ever say the dude's name, your best player, Elise or whatever. Yeah, if you haven't got those two firing, are you pretty much a Chappie style Maddison flex there?
With us, and like just firstly on the game at the City ground, like had Wilf scored, I think we might have been okay.
That was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen.
It was like all it done was just once he missed, all it done was fire up the crowd even more.
Yeah,
and we couldn't cope second half. The funny thing is, we had to deal with Wilf being out for like 4 games previously anyway.
Yeah,
and stuff, and managed to nick a few draws in that. He's got a groin injury. He's going to miss quite a few games, I think, maybe the next 3-4 games. Goal scoring hasn't been.
So sorry, is he back out? Simon's asking in the chat.
Yeah, he done his groin, literally innocuous. He just literally was trying to beat Castagno, I believe it was, and he just fell over. Yeah, just pulled his groin.
Thanks for that, Lee. We appreciate you doing that for the rest of us.
That could not.
How long is he out for?
We know he had his scan today, so I'm going to check that. In a minute. That could be a season, But on the flip side, because we played with a lot of intensity on Saturday, we actually had 31 shots, and loads of them were blocked. And Averson made some cracking saves, by the way.
Yeah,
as well.
Only reason why we were in it in the first half still.
So I've got a glimmer of hope now, basically, which I didn't have before.
There's a few of you tonight who've got some hope. It's interesting, apart from Mike, sorry. And speaking of hope, look who's come in with his Red Bull. How are you, Mikey?
Oh, I'm good, boys. How are we?
Watching 0-0 at half time, mate. I thought you'd be losing by now, but how's the first half been?
No, the first half's been it looks like it's a game of 2 teams that don't want to lose a game of football, if I'm being honest. You've got Tottenham who have gone there off the back of a bit of pasting from Conte, a bit of embarrassing comments, not wanting to be shown up, and you've got Everton who are fighting for their lives and doing all right. I still think Everton win this game. Very confident, up the fucking toughies. How are we all?
Really?
I've been looking forward to speaking to some of you boys tonight. I must say. How are you feeling, Lee? You all right, son?
A bit more excited now we've got rid of Rodgers.
I can tell in the tone of your voice.
He needed to go. I'm not so excited about the result. Obviously, Rich getting the big fat dub. But look, let's reset. Go again.
Go, mate. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to nip to the loo. You're going to host them and you can fire your questions at them, Mike. I'm just going to go to the loo.
I've got to shoot, so I shall see you all soon.
All right, Chappie.
Cheers,
Chappie. Boys. Next Monday. It'll all be different next Monday.
Like that.
It'll all be different next Monday. I'm telling you now. All right?
I hope not.
Yeah, you'll be bottom of the league, mate. Yeah.
See you in a bit.
See in a bit.
Come on, Mike. Who else do you want to inquisitor on?
No, well, do you know what? I'm interested to see what's going on in everyone's football team. Mike, are you now accepting that Southampton have fucked it?
We're kind of coming to that realization that it's not just nailing the coffin. I can hear the soil hitting the top of the coffin as I look up at the abyss.
Do you know, it's a shame because I like Southampton. I'd much rather like Wolves go down and Scott cry like a little.
Oh, nice one. You know what? We've got you second to last game of the season at Molineux. I really do hope that that's the game which puts us up, keeps us up, sends you lot down, and we can invade the pitch and celebrate in front of your fan base. That's what I'm dreaming of, anyway.
I might have done that last season. It was fantastic, to be honest. It's probably the only time you'll touch that hallowed turf at Molyneux, whatever it's called these days. I don't know. It's in a hill, anyway.
The thing is, Mike, though, you come in on swinging away a little, yeah? But you're not looking very healthy in the old positions right
I'm
now.
not looking very healthy, just in general, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to insult you personally, but, you know...
By all means, crack on. No, do you know what it is? It's just, like we said last week, and we actually said earlier, every single one of our teams could go down this season. Literally all of us, for different reasons, you know. The only reason I am confident, it's not because of the financial fair play that's looming over our shoulders, because let's be honest, Everton could get 40 points, a 10-point deduction, and then we go down anyway. But when you've got a man like Sean Dyche in charge, it's not a case of we know it's pretty, because it's not. It's not a case of, you know, we're going to score dazzling goals, etc. It's not. But what it is, it's a man that gets the best out of the players that he's got. And this Everton team, yes, look, we deserve to be where we are. But we've got some players in there that are probably slightly better than a relegation battle. And they're the players that are coming to the floor, you know, the Onanas, the Damari Grays, the Tarkowskis. And we're seeing that. So that's why he's given me that confidence. You know, he could tell me that the sky is yellow, and I'd probably believe him at the minute.
Bloody hell, mate.
I would say, to be fair, it's not than that, but Sean Dyche is, like, above all else, he makes his teams hard to beat. You know, if anything, we know from him his time at Burnley and obviously what he's doing so far at Everton. Like, and the thing is as we all know, it's like a point a game on average is probably going to keep you up. Yeah. So even if you never scored another goal, if you never conceded another one, you're probably going to stay up, and that's the best base to start with. And
well, here's the thing, John.
As a fan of the team that has conceded more goals than any other side in the league at the moment, I almost forgot what it was like to have a clean sheet until we got one recently. But it's a not too bad a position to be in to have Sean Dyche come in and be the saviour.
Well, the thing is, boys, at this point, I'm just looking at the table, the live table. It pushes them up to 15th. It pushes Forest down to 16th, Bournemouth down to 17th, Leeds at 18th. It's just crazy. Everyone up to 14th, like from Jace's West Ham, 27 points. There'll be 4 teams on 27 points, and then Leeds on 26 points. The only thing is, Mike, you've played, this will put you on 29 games, where the likes of West Ham have played 27, and the rest, apart from, sorry, Mike, the other Mike, have played 29 as well. So are you worried about the amount of games you've played?
Yes, but we sort of are having that really tough period now. You know, like we're playing Tottenham tonight, we've got Manchester United on Saturday. After that, there is games at Everton will feel like they can at least get some points in. You know, we've got a Palace side that look a little bit resurgent under Roy Hodgson, but Everton will go there thinking, well, if we get a point, that's a good result. We've got Fulham at Goodison. I don't quite know what Fulham are going to turn up, but that could be a game where Everton get 3 points. You know, we could beat Spurs tonight, and to be honest, Everton are such a weird team because they actually tend to play better against the bigger teams, apart from Arsenal this season. We went to Man City and got a point. So it wouldn't surprise me if we go to Man United next week and get a point. I don't think we will, but it wouldn't surprise me. So
the surprise me for the point. Casemiro's not there, and without Casemiro, they're shit, aren't they? So it wouldn't surprise me if you got a point.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. So I think if Everton go into these games, they have to be confident. They have to be like, there is no point being a fan of a club that's down in the bottom three, sitting there going, oh yeah, we're getting relegated. I did all of that last season and I was depressed. And honestly, my home life was affected. My life was affected. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was meant to be going to Florida. And honestly, I couldn't be bothered. I was more like, cancel the holiday, cancel it. I just, that's it, fuck it. But actually...
Ringing any bells, Southampton, Mike?
Yeah, sounds familiar. Yeah.
But
you've still got a hard set of fixtures. I mean, Rich, are you targeting, like, be straight here? You got Everton coming up in a week or two's time, 22nd of April, at home. Are you looking at that as a winnable fixture from a Palace view looking at an Everton game?
Yeah, we have to win all our home games. We have to win all our home games. I think all of our teams, home form is going to be massive. It's going to be so key because actually, when you actually look at the fixtures, it's those home games. You're like, actually, yeah, I think we can win this one. I think. I mean, you shouldn't have that mentality anyway, but they're the more favourable, I should say, fixtures. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gutted it's not Lampard coming back to Sellers Park, so you can say fluke goal, jammy goal, dodgy goal, fluke goal again. But Sean Dyche, I think he's done a good job so far.
And I think the interesting thing with the Palace game is on the reverse fixture, it's Everton's best performance of the season when Palace came to Goodison, and it was when Everton were playing much better, a bit more confident, and we got a really good result. I think we beat Palace 3-0. Palace are going to want to get a result against Everton. And let's be honest,
who was your manager under that one? I can't remember it. Was it Frank or was it under that?
Yeah,
okay.
It was the one game.
Bloody hell, Rich, he must have been shit that day.
I'm going to say why. It was a whole team performance. However, Chet Decore was missing that game. And he's been brilliant for us. He was suspended. We had to have Luka play. And when Luka plays, it's a problem.
Milivojevic is still there.
He's still there. Yes.
God, I forgot he existed. I would say the one thing, and I think maybe it's because Mike seems to be a little bit more optimistic as well. Everton Mike, sorry, seems a little bit more optimistic as well. As I do feel as though like it's certainly the case for Bournemouth fans, I think, because obviously when we last came up, we kept up for 5 seasons. The first 4 seasons, everyone thought Bournemouth would go down. And then the 5th season was probably the first year where people were like, oh no, they're a fixture now, they'll be fine. And it all went to kaput. But when you've been down there a few times, and when you're kind of more used to fighting against relegation, you take it a little bit more in your stride as a fan base. I feel. I think. I don't know about. I would certainly say I think of West Ham. Obviously, it wasn't that long. When was that? West Ham last got relegated within the last. It wasn't within the last decade, was it? But I know. It wasn't like overly long ago that they were last relegated.
Within our life age, it's been, hasn't it?
Yeah, but they have been doing really well in the last few years. They've been a really, strong performing side. But because it's suddenly been sort of from up there and we're back down here, obviously there's confidence in being in the cup competition. But I'd imagine there's a decent amount of nervousness because you're not
you
used
just
to
annoyed
being
him,
down
mate.
there.
Is there a question? He got annoyed at you and left.
But I was just thinking that, a few of these fan bases, I reckon, if they're not used to being down here, there'll be a lot more negativity around being in this position. Whereas, and I'd say that obviously,
they're used to the fight, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you got a great point because Jace is look even how he's sitting there. Right, look how he's sitting. He doesn't even want to make eye contact with half of you guys, right? Because he thinks he's above all this, right? And then
we've got games in hand. He's looking.
You haven't got your game in hand is Man City. Don't try and sell us that, dummy.
Never say anything can happen. Anything can happen. Remember that.
I mean,
no, but Jace, do you feel you're in a false position?
You know what? Right, it's what's been going on. With the staff and everything and the players, there's been talk of it's been a bit toxic and stuff like that. Who knows, right? But to be honest, we shouldn't be here. We should not be here.
Didn't I tell you, boys? Didn't I tell you? You're all beneath him.
I'm sorry.
All we know,
but we are.
Yeah,
here with you guys. We're all
Jace is going to get a tattoo of David Moyes on his arm and say Europa League semi-final. We know it. We know it. And Jace, I'll admire you for that, my friend.
And underneath that, give it a little bit. Underneath that, Conference League semi-final.
Ah, yeah. and then under that, put playoff final.
Winners of the playoff.
Hey, you get a trophy, mate. You get a trophy for that.
You get a trophy.
I've got to go. I've got to go watch the Blues go and beat Tottenham. But guys, it's been a pleasure.
Good luck,
I
mate.
hope I've dropped the mic. Scott, it's
Good
good
luck.
to see you again. It's good to see that your channel hasn't completely fallen apart. And I look forward to seeing you all next Monday for another positive Everton reaction.
Well, let's see what position you end up in, mate. We wish you no luck tonight, and I'm sure we are unanimous with that thought process, aren't we, guys?
Yeah.
Catch you next week, bud.
See you
Cheers. All right. Yeah, so Jace, I'm worried for you, mate, because I'm looking at this fixtures. I'm seeing Arsenal. I'm seeing Bournemouth. All right, granted, you'll probably win that one. No offense, John. But then you got Liverpool, Palace away, Man City away, United at home, Brentford away, Leeds away, and then you got El Chappie's Leicester, last day of the season. And
Like I
in
said,
between all that, you got your stupid European crap.
It could go down to the last day of season, Leicester versus West Ham. It's pretty much written in the stars, isn't it, for that, really?
But does anyone feel he's too relaxed? Does anyone feel Jace is too relaxed in this? Like, yeah, whatever, we'll be fine. We're West Ham. We have no trophies, but
this is West Ham. We always do this. This is always happens to us. Right?
I mean, I honestly hope you get to the final.
We know the plan. We know what to do. We're gonna be all right.
I hope you get to the final of the Conference League, because it's gonna. You've got too many games. Like, is it 9 this month? I think that's gonna get on top of you.
We've got a lot of games, a lot of games, but we've got a good squad that are gonna.
You can tell that by league position.
Win, survive. So we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Listen, like I said, we'll be all right.
I don't know. Scott, would you be quite happy for them to win it? I wouldn't care. It's a Eurovision song, because as far as I'm concerned, let them have that crappy trophy. It'll just eat up more games.
I want to keep them in it, and especially if they've got a good feeling about winning it, keep their mind on winning that, and hopefully they forget about the league and down they go. Tick one of the places off.
No, don't you worry about that. We'll be winning the league and surviving. Trust me.
I don't think you've got the squad to do both. You just haven't got the depth.
Oh, we will. We will. Don't worry. We will.
Couple of injuries as well in the Conference League, and it could all suddenly fall apart. And
no. Don't worry about that. Listen. You need to just worry about your own teams at the moment. Stop worrying about us.
I think you should be looking.
I appreciate you all worrying about us, and I know you love it, but
joining an elite group of clubs to win a cup competition and go down that season. Birmingham and Wigan.
Wigan, isn't it? Yeah.
That elite group of teams.
That was FA Cup and Carabao Cup or whatever it was, wasn't it?
It wasn't
we're
proper
building
European
up the set.
stuff.
We'll have West Ham win the Conference League and go down. Then we just need someone to win the Europa League and go down. And we're slowly building up
to a Champions League and relegation.
Am I the only one that gets like amateur football vibes whenever I hear the word conference?
Yeah. I agree.
No, it's listen, the teams in there,
B teams.
They're quite high up in their leagues, So.
Yeah, in the
Cypriot League, and all of that. I'm not being funny, but all of you really want to be in that cup anyway. You would love to be in it. So I don't know why you're moaning that you're not. All of you would love to be in it.
I mean, when we did it, we played in the Europa League.
I'm sure Forest wants to be in it. So come on. You'll all love it. You'll love to be in it.
We're royalty, mate. We're European royalty, mate. We don't want to be in any shit.
Listen, Liverpool will be in it next season if they
I
stay.
bet they don't want to be, though.
We'll win it. So there you go.
Mike, do you reckon Southampton could win if you switch places right now of West Ham, could Southampton win I don't even know what it's called, I just call it Eurovision. Could you win it with your team?
I mean,
no offense.
I don't want to put any salt on this. I mean, I think any of our teams could probably win it. That's the fact. We're all jealous that we're not in it because we could all win it. So, but fair play.
I don't know about our boys. We don't score enough goals.
It doesn't matter, mate. If you can pronounce the name of the team you're playing against, it'll probably mean you can win.
Exactly. That's 3 points on the table. Right?
And we love a trip to Cyprus, wouldn't we? Any excuse.
Exactly.
We get to go to lovely places as well.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
I've got to ask you this question though. If you did win it and then you went down, do you reckon some of the players would stay purely just because they're getting Europa League football?
No.
Because it could keep them there. It generally could. We still get to play in Europe.
We get the money from it. How much you get for that? How much you get? Like, I don't know.
14 quid.
10 grand.
14 quid or something. I don't know. Was it 15 quid or something like that? I don't know.
All right, I want to have a quick look at everyone's coming fixtures. Obviously, Forest and have got a midweek fixture tomorrow. Unfortunately, Oscar's hiding, so he couldn't come on tonight because he's working. Big game tomorrow for Forest. Are you thinking there's a good chance of points there, or Forest? Well, you've seen Forest's away form is atrocious, bottom of the league. Where are you feeling on tomorrow?
We are absolutely. Our away record, as you say, is atrocious. Thank you, Mike, for the 3 points. You're the only one.
You're welcome.
I mean, but having said that, after we made changes on Saturday, I don't know if Scott's aware of this. That's not our normal lineup. It was a kind of forced lineup, and the players that we brought in did really well. I believe that in Felipe and Nakate, we have got probably the best centre-back partnership of any of us here. Those two. I mean, did you see the game, Scott? Felipe is...
Rich isn't liking that.
Felipe is simply he is a magnificent specimen of a man and a specimen of a footballer.
He was lucky not to give a penalty away, wasn't he?
When he goes to challenge for a ball with his head, that ball goes 30, 40 yards. He is just unbelievable. He is a truly quality centre-back, the best we've seen since Des Walker, in my opinion. Niakate just come back from injury, and he also is a fabulous, and that's what's giving me hope. That's what's giving me hope.
I do have to quickly point out one of your centre backs nearly did head it into their own goal, thanks to the crossbar saving them. But
yeah, but how brilliant is that? How skillful to head it into the ball to clear it.
It takes some doing, yeah.
If your centre backs tried to do that, it'd probably go in. Ours onto the ball, cleared it. Brilliant.
Wait, Rich, just before Ant carries on going down this rabbit hole, you were shaking your head, and down to 10 in the chat, I'm assuming there's a Palace fan here. He's bigging up your boys. Are you going to put your case forward for this?
Yeah, Anderson again, might as well. 100%.
Yeah, but to be fair, Rich, you've not seen Niakate and Felipe as a centre-back pairing because it's their first game as a centre-back pairing.
So I'm not hearing it.
Does everybody know who Felipe is, right? From Atletico Madrid, superb centre-half, right? European everything, right?
Well, he was a left-back, but, you know.
I don't care if he's a centre-forward. He's a fantastic centre-back. And Niakate coming back in the team, he's got pace, power, he's a very intelligent footballer. Trust me, those two will make a difference to our defence. You know, you compare that with Worrell and McKenna. The difference is night and day. We've got Lodge, Brazilian international at left back, Suzore, who's resurgent at right back. That defence, Navas in goal. You've heard of Keylor Navas, 3 European Cups, yeah? Good. Yeah,
but just swinging some names isn't giving you points here, mate. Yeah?
I'm telling you.
I mean, if we wanted to hear names, we could go to Jace.
I'm telling why I'm a little more confident about us getting the possibility of getting a result at Leeds. This is a reason, because we have finally got our proper defence in place for the first time this season. In midfield, we've got Danilo, who's an incredible box-to-box midfielder. These are the reasons. We've got players that are coming back. We've had injuries. Everybody says, yeah, you can't talk about injuries. Fact, we've had bad injuries. These players are coming back. Owanyi is coming back. We've got Dennis finally coming into form and looking threatening on the left-hand side, which gives us balance in attack. Before, it was all Brendan Johnson down the right-hand side. Every team played against us, stop Brendan Johnson, not an issue. Now we've got a left-sided attacker as well. All these things have given me hope that we might be able to get a result at Leeds. Leeds have got a lot of their key players out. Nonto's out. Tyler Adams out for the rest of the season. Vober's out. There's another one out as well now that's just been revealed. So that's giving me some little bit of confidence that maybe we can actually win away at Leeds. That's where I am at that.
Do you think
if you lose both your games, will you sack your manager? If you lose both your games?
Good question.
I don't believe we will. I don't believe we will sack Steve Cooper this season. I think that maybe the reason more than anything is because of the support that he gets at the City Ground. If you were at the City Ground on Saturday, it's just Steve Cooper, Steve Cooper, Steve Cooper. The support is just outrageously fantastic for that guy. Whether you think it's right or wrong, what it does do is it creates a positive atmosphere when there's no toxicity at our ground whatsoever. It's all positive despite where we are. And everybody's behind Steve Cooper. Right or wrongly, down at the ground, everybody, home and away, is behind the manager. And that helps the players, I believe. So I think that Marinakis would be taking a risk if he was to sack Steve Cooper now. And also, who do you bring in for 8 games? You know.
Yeah.
We can ask that question to a few.
I actually think your fan base has actually helped you with your points at the moment as well. I think it's helped a big. If it was toxic there, then you'd be in a lot of trouble. I think.
Absolutely, 100%.
What you just pinpointed exactly what you just said. That was fantastic, because that fan base at Forest is amazing. I've seen it.
It's had to be good though, because as you said,
it really has helped you. It's your 12th man basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think given the history of your owner as well, I'd say if there wasn't such vocal support as there has been quite clearly throughout the entire season, he would have been gone.
Well, when we lost
to
Christmas, when we lost away to Leicester, I think it was in October, 4-0. We lost away. That's when, if he was going to go, he would have gone.
And
but the support, even at that game, was like Steve Cooper, and he got a new contract. So I do believe that has an influence on Marinakis' decision making in that respect.
Do you guys feel, John, would he have been back?
Totally deserves to stay, because Steve Cooper, as much as we've all sort of have the odd manager we don't like them for whatever reason, for whatever this game he was an idiot in that game, whatever. I've got nothing but respect for Steve Cooper and the job he's done, and as much as as we'll all. If they stay up, we'll all have that whole, well, you needed 30 players to stay up sort of thing. As Steve Cooper's had a terrible hand dealt to him in terms of had players thrown at him that he probably never wanted, and has had to deal with. And I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I said, on another season, if you hadn't had that World Cup break, I reckon it could have been a lot worse for you. Things are just aligning, I think, for Forest, and there's definitely Steve Cooper is one of the main reasons to why you're even in a chance.
And even when players bring in like 2 or 3 players, they say, it's difficult to integrate 2 or 3 players into the team. And that, like you say, we had 23 in the summer come through the door. And 8
in January. His owner did not help him. I really don't. Things had settled down. He threw another 8 players in there, but it's going to be tough for us all. But I do think Forest things might be aligning for Forest more so than a lot of other teams.
Well, there's some interesting games coming up this weekend. You've got Leicester away, John, coming up this weekend, I think, if I'm right.
Yeah, we've got Brighton midweek as well at home.
You got midweek? Oh, you have as well tomorrow.
We're midweek against Brighton tomorrow, which is the delayed fixture
Queen.
From the Queen passing. Yeah. So that's we've played Brighton since then. Gone away and lost 1-0 to a Mitoma 88th minute header to win that game.
Is that the one where he nearly went in the post? Decore's just been sent off, by the way, for Everton.
Oh God! I mean, oh dear, how sad.
Sorry to interrupt you, John.
Such a shame.
John, sorry to interrupt you myself, guys. I've got to shoot. Little one just woken up, so.
Rich, no worries, mate. We'll catch you next week, buddy.
Next week.
Great concept, great show. This is funny. This is brilliant.
We'll see you same time next week, buddy.
Cheers, man.
As long as we beat Leeds. See you later. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Where were we? Oh yeah, sorry. Brighton midweek. I'm not looking forward to that one at all. I do think that they could pass around us all day, and we'll suffer on that one. But Leicester, that's a bit of a different story. Managed to beat them coming from behind in the previous game. Beat them 2-1, and the thing is, we don't know what Leicester are going to be in a week's time, because different manager, they could play completely differently.
New manager bounce potentially coming your way.
I think they're going to struggle. I really think they really are going to struggle. I don't think they will find a manager.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to suffer now. They will. And I think for us, all of us, it's a godsend, really.
That's a good point.
I know everyone's saying positive vibes, new manager and all of that crap, but I think we're going to do all right now.
I do think Rodgers, though,
that's pretty much helped us a lot.
Yeah, I do think you do get managers, though. Rodgers definitely felt like he had gone well past his sell-by date at Leicester, and things were. I mean, in all likelihood, it was starting to probably get quite toxic in the club, but especially as when you don't bring new players in, as the owners didn't help them by not bringing any players in the summer. So I think it really could. It's stupid to say that it could go either way, but it really could. It could make things a hell of a lot worse for them, and it could send them down fully. But it could be just, maybe they only need 2 games to really perk up, and suddenly with a win against who knows, hopefully not us, they're back out of the relegation zone, and maybe they've got that positive vibe back again. It really is. That's the thing. Like, one win can take an incredibly negative atmosphere and completely flip it on its head. And it's because everyone knows that a win is going to take you. Well, almost everyone has a win will take them out of the relegation zone, or take them miles away from it. So it's
from
just
poor
one
Mike.
result. Yeah, you named him, not me. So you
2
really
wins,
get
2
anything
wins.
in that. Win and a draw would do it with Mike. But it's just so tight down here.
It's a huge week. It really is. I mean, I'm just looking through the fixtures. West Ham are away to Fulham. So there's another. That's a bit of a cross-London derby there for you, Jace. And then Southampton, you've got, Man City. I don't know. Something the other Mike was saying, Mike, that I think is interesting. I want to ask you about on it. Is normally you'd call this a free swing, as the other Mike was saying. You can't really look at it like that now, can you? You've got to look at it. What are you thinking here? Would a point be okay, or do you have to swing and hope for a win?
We have to get 3 points. Every game until the end of the season is now. The way we've got to look at it is in the sense that we're in, that glimmer of hope when you're in a cup. You're in the FA Cup, League Cup, whatever. You're in it. So, if we were to take this opportunity, 6 months down the road when we're in another league, we buy our hands off to have this opportunity to stay in the Premier League. So, we've got to look at it and play without fear, because I think if we have a nervous display and we lose 3-0, then it's pointless, literally pointless. So, but we just literally got to go for it. And we have beaten City at St Mary's this season with Haaland and De Bruyne all on the pitch. It has happened, and we've kept a clean sheet.
And Nathan Jones in the dugout.
I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, I was actually shooting that vlog in 720p because I didn't think I'd get anything from it. So.
Yeah, I did watch that, and it was a weird one. It was like you almost.
I was in shock. I was just like, I wasn't really caring. I was like, this is just going to be a nothing thing. So and it was suddenly got the winner of the season right there. But
you'd take switching that one for the league one, though, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But could something happen? Like, if you were, let's just go to deluded cuckoo land right now. Yeah, if you were to win. Let's just say you fluke one. I mean, we drew with them at the City Ground, right? It's not impossible. They missed a million chances. Like, Haaland was our man of the match that day. He really was, yeah. But if you were to, the stars aligned and all that, and you beat them. I can't believe I'm saying these words. But let's go down this deluded road for a second. Could that be something that gives you a little bit of momentum to take forward? Because there are some players that are coming through. I mean, suddenly Walcott's decided that he remembers how to play football a little bit. There are little shoots coming through. Would that be something you can grasp onto and think to yourself, we still are in this fighting?
Yeah, of course it would. I think any game where you can get, an unexpected win will galvanise a squad and make them believe that they can get anything from anyone. But it's the same old picture. We're not great at playing clubs around us. We get a good result against Chelsea, United away, stuff like that. And then we go to Leeds, lose, have Forest at home, lose. It's all those games that are around us that we're not very good at, that it's just difficult to break down.
It just shows, Mike, that you can beat the big boys. You can do it. You all these. So I think you've got a chance against Man City, to be honest. I'm not even joking or anything.
Are you being serious, Jess?
I'm being serious. I actually think there might be a chance they get a sneaky 1-0 out of that.
Well, they got Bayern in the week, haven't they? Bayern
exactly.
in the week. So, who knows?
The problem though we get in Man City at this stage of the season, they're in like Terminator mode, aren't they? They're just head down hunting. That would be my worry for you. I do get what you're saying, Jace. Normally Southampton are that kind of team that can throw a result out of the left field. But it's Man City. You don't want to face them this stage of the season. For me,
I think with Man City though, they've got to concentrate on one cup, right? I can't see them, and I think they want the Champions League more than the Premier League. I think, to be honest, I think that's what their goal is. It's always been that goal, to win that Champions League. So they could slip up. They really can slip up against a team like Southampton. They just, they've got one eye on Bayern Munich and that. Do you know what I mean? It can happen. It can happen.
City's still in the FA Cup as well, are they? I think.
Yeah, I think they are.
I think they could still feasibly get the treble.
Yeah.
So I mean, Mike, I've got to ask you because I know that when you were bringing some of the players in, I know Sulemana was the player that I think a lot of was maybe expected to be at a club a bit, no offense, but a bit higher up the league in terms of like his dribbling stats and what he did in France was very impressive. Why haven't you just stuck Onuachu up front and just fired balls at him yet? Was he the tallest player in the Premier League?
Penalty to Spurs. Sorry, penalty to Spurs.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm cheering a Spurs penalty.
Sorry to interrupt you, John, but I'm sure you don't mind the interruption.
No.
Wow.
It's fine. My question was crap anyway.
No, it's a great question. Great question.
Hey, you might as well answer it, Mike, while they check it all out.
My stream's way behind everyone else's. Anyway, no, it's a great question. I think the difference is I don't think that Ruben Sellers thinks he's got a luxury of playing a striker. I think we're playing like false nines.
Any striker?
I just don't think that he thinks he's got the luxury of sort of playing someone who's just going to hang around up front and hit long balls to. I mean, Onuachu was brought in for Nathan Jones playing that long ball sort of style of football, and we haven't really been implementing that. So he's been playing second fiddle to what should have been our fourth choice striker, which is Sekou Mara. So, but having seen this display against West Ham, I mean, I kind of think that it's probably worth just leaving him up front and working with that. Sulemana's looked great though. He has really looked good.
I was going to say he looked a proper player when he come up against us. I mean that striker though, the Onuachu, I think like he's got an awful first touch, Annie, from what I've seen so far. Like, it's a bounce off him. Like,
did anyone see that hat-trick he got?
Was
that hat trick that went semi-viral, sort of thing? That like one of the worst hat tricks I think I've ever seen from a striker. It basically, like a goal just bounced off him and it just landed in the net. I think one of his first touches or something. It was ridiculous. It just seems to be like he's that. What was the last one that came along that we were thinking he was bought just because he was big? It was Zigic. That was the one. What was he? 6'8". If you remember, for Birmingham, brought in because it was. But
yes. Sorry. Yes. I've never liked Harry Kane, but I like him tonight.
Almost forgive him for that penalty miss when it mattered.
Against France.
Straight red card.
Do you know where Spurs are in the league now with that? If they win this game,
they go third, but they've played 2 extra games over Newcastle and Man U.
True, but failing upwards. The phrase failing upwards. I think that is Spurs' season. Isn't it?
Yeah.
How the hell are they third? It makes no sense.
Who the hell knows?
They've been shit all season.
Someone clip Jay celebrating a Spurs goal, though. Please, someone clip that.
Clip that up.
They scored, have they?
I made me feel sick.
Sorry, who was talking? Sorry, I got so excited with that. I lost track.
I was just going to say, have you seen Decore's hit on Kane?
It was soft, mate. It was soft. Yeah. Kane went down like a sack of
I only watched a little clip. It looked like more of a push, didn't it? But a bit daft.
Exactly. But hey, I think everyone's happy now except Mike. Not you, Mike. The other Mike.
I'm happy with this. Yeah,
Mike.
Exactly. So, all right, boys. Let's wrap up with a couple of quick fire questions, right? I think we should end each show doing this every time. I still want to know what everyone's 3 is to go down. Have they changed since we last spoke? I should really write this down. Someone in the chat, you're in. Is Decore Anne who got sent off? Decore. Yeah. I'll just go around the sites there. Mike, we'll start with you, buddy.
Sorry. Before we do that, was Decore the guy that Mike was saying was fantastic and was making all the difference?
No, that was Rich for Palace because there's a Decore at Palace.
Another Decore.
Damn. Damn.
No,
The Decorator got sent off.
Palace had got sent off and was off for 3 games. Then Rich would be absolutely cacking it right now because he's the only ball winner they've got in midfield. But no, this is an Everton. This is the Everton one. Who's probably
And this is the Decorator that was linked with Forest, by the way. So in the January window,
Everybody was linked with Forest.
that's true. That's true.
No, that is true.
All right, let's go around now. This is Mike. Who are your 3, mate, at the moment? As things stand, as you're looking at it, head and heart, whatever you want to do.
It's always going to be in my head because my heart will tell you a Cuckoo Land dream village with lots of everything's edible and you can do all that. So with the heads, sadly ourselves. I honestly don't know. Just looking at this, it's all over the place. But just hearing what everyone's been chatting about this evening, I would go Leicester.
Ooh.
And I've been convinced by John in terms of the games he's got coming up. I'm hoping I can ruin his away day at Southampton. But aside from that, maybe Leeds at the moment.
You think? Really? Okay, you haven't put Forest in there. I'm a little surprised. I thought you were going to sneak that in.
No. Ask me next week. Ask me next week.
Well, maybe even tomorrow night. Forest versus Leeds, Bournemouth are playing. All could change again in 24 hours.
Exactly.
Scott, where are you, mate?
I mean, I shouldn't really say you guys because firstly, if you do stay up, we get a nice extra 5 million for Morgan Gibbs White. Now, to be fair, though, I have a funny feeling you'll be all right. I am going to have to go Saints just because it's not looking good, is it, at the moment for them? Sorry, Mike. I'm then going to have to go. I reckon Leeds, they're getting injuries at the wrong time, aren't they? Okay. Tyler Adam out for the rest of the season. I mean, he's been massive for them as well. So I know they got obviously the new manager in, but I think Leeds could do it now. And then it depends if you ask me if you want. Do you want the third one, my head or my heart? Because,
Give us both.
I mean, my heart would probably go with maybe let's go with maybe Everton. We'll go with Everton. And if Mike watches this back, I know he ain't going to be happy with me, so I'll just say that.
Well, that's good.
I have a bad feeling about us, I really do, especially in our last 2 games. You look at, we've got Everton, and then we've got Arsenal, and an Arsenal team that are probably going to need to win it to win the title. They're not games you want as your last 2. You want teams that are going to be on the beach and not really bothered. So I don't know. I've not got a good feeling.
Everton nearly scored. Sorry, but they didn't. Lloris saved it. Sorry, carry on, Scott.
I was going to say, what's happened? Have Everton scored?
No, they haven't. Lloris saved it. It's all good. It's all good. Sorry.
Okay. So I've got to say, I've got to unfortunately say, I still don't fancy our chances. We've got Chelsea and Brentford next as well, who are obviously.
Yeah. Are you worried about the new manager bounce? Because you got Chelsea next, haven't you?
I mean, the way you've got to look at it is if Chelsea score more than 2, we've lost. Or 2. If they score 2, we've lost because we can't score more than 1. And that's the way that we've been all season. The second a team scores 2, we know we've lost. So, and if they score 1, we know that we can only draw. So that's it's not great, to be honest. And I fancy them to have a little bit of a bounce. But
at least you know what you're getting when you go into your games, mate. It's pretty consistent.
I mean, we brought in a manager that's managed Spain. He's he's been at Real Madrid. He's been at Sevilla. He had a great time there, and we thought we were getting the real deal, someone to get some goals back into us. And I think he's the real deal, but even he can't seem to do it, to be honest. So. Yeah, not very confident at the moment, in all honesty, but who knows? Okay.
Mr. Cocky, over to you.
Not going to say West Ham, is he?
I think let's have a look. Southampton, Leicester, Leeds, down.
Bang, 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 no hesitation. Southampton, Leicester, Leeds. It's interesting though, John. I haven't heard Bournemouth yet. It's changed from 2 weeks ago.
I'm pleasantly surprised to see also in the chat very few people picking Bournemouth to go down anymore.
Yeah.
I think my argument's been convincing.
I don't know. There's something about Bournemouth. I just feel like they're just going to do it. They're going to.
They just got that luckiness about them. Yeah.
Hey,
got something.
I'd rather be lucky than good. Wolvie. But good enough to stay up. I think I'll take that. But I think, and I mean, last 2 weeks ago when you asked me, and we were just off the back of a terrible performance against Villa, I said, with my heart, obviously, I thought we'd stay up. With my head, I thought we were dead. We were definitely in the bottom three. But now it's a lot more easy. I think head and heart both say the same thing, and I agree with Mikey and Jace. I think Southampton are probably the one that I think a lot of people are looking at the moment. Obviously, something big is going to have to change there. Then you've got Leicester. You don't know how that's going, but it's certainly not going well at the moment. And then the last one, as much as we haven't had our Leeds rep on today to fight his case, you do worry a bit about Leeds at the moment. That's my three as things currently stand, I'd say.
So Southampton, Leeds, and Leicester.
Yeah.
These are interesting. I didn't think these would be the ones people went for. It's interesting. Okay. And what say ye? And I'm looking through the chat ones as well. And like you said, John, there's some interesting names coming up. But go on, Ant, let's get yours.
Yeah, these aren't necessarily the teams I want to go down. And let's be honest, it could be any of us in reality.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. I fear for Southampton.
Mike, we got to change your name to Sorry Mike. No one said Mike tonight without sorry in front of it.
It's the worst thing, isn't it, really? Pity.
I get a theme tune going like, all together now, all together.
Leicester, I mean, obviously, we're not absolutely certain what's going to happen with the change of management, but they are terrible. So, Leicester... And then I put down Bournemouth or Leeds.
You've got to pick one.
I've got to pick one.
It's true.
Well, seeing as John's been good enough to come on, I'll say Leeds.
Pay for option, innit?
Yeah, sod the no-shows. Sod them.
Work. Yeah.
Has an impact
Not
on
as
work
good
for it. Yeah.
Can I ask, why does no one think Wolves then? I don't think anyone said Wolves. What
Well, hold on. He hasn't given you the third one.
I have.
Yeah, we weren't mentioned.
Southampton, Leicester and Leeds.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Southampton's a given. I keep forgetting. Sorry, Mike.
But
you said it again. You said sorry, Mike, again.
But regarding Wolves, it's because I think it's because we know they've got good players, and it's kind of in your head that they can play good football, and it's they are where they are, and they deserve to be where they are because they're crap. But in our heads, we're thinking, no, they've got good players. So it's kind of weird. I
think the good football's just been doing hide and seek all season, and we're yet to find it yet. So hopefully we do find it soon. But
got to start scoring some goals though. That's my advice.
That's the problem. Yeah, with Diego Costa to keep us up. Maybe he'll score against his old club at the weekend and start the.
Well, the chat are asking. Can I open this up? The chat are asking, are you lot being polite and not saying Forest? You just want an invite back next week? Is anyone thinking Forest?
I seriously would love you to go down, but I don't think you.
Cheers, Jace.
I think
tomorrow night's
one of the
massive,
third worst teams. It's pretty simple. I don't think Forest are one of the third worst teams. I think there are at least three that are worse than Forest. And although it's an interesting one, you talk about, Scott, that none of us are saying Wolves, and I do think there's kind of sort of thinking like you brought in Lopetegui, you've got good players, and all of us are forgetting that you really just do not score goals.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's kind of an important part of football.
Yeah, you need to score to win.
You do need to score. So, and bearing in mind, we had obviously Rich on from Palace, and he knows what it's like to support a team that can't even put a shot on target for 3 games running. So, it does make a bit of a difference. But I have been discounting Wolves somewhat. I think there was a period where they were 13th, I think you hit a few weeks back after a win and a draw or something in a row, and I was sort of like, they're out of it now.
They're done.
And I've just not really considered you back in danger. But it's like you haven't been picking much up, and it could be sleepwalking. Well,
they're only 2 points clear of if things stand as they are. They're only 2 points clear of 18th.
And we've played 29, haven't we? If I'm not mistaken.
You're on 28. And you played.
I don't know why I thought.
Oh, sorry. You played 29. Sorry, you're on 28 points.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
so you have played the game more.
We're one of the teams that have played 29 games as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah. And, but Everton now with this loss have played 29 and are on 26 points. I mean, this extra game thing, that puts them, Jace, that puts them like 2 or 3 more than you. Yeah, you've played 27, so you got 2 games in hand over them. Okay, forget Man City, but that still leaves you a game in hand over them. So you guys might be right. A lot of you are saying Everton. Yeah. I was just buying into Mike's big-chested, pumping, dick-swinging thing earlier on, I mean, maybe Everton are in trouble.
You think he'd come back on and be so confident now?
I do think that Sean Dyche has got the chops to because Everton will probably beat more of the teams around them. I reckon they're always going to struggle against the bigger sides. But the other thing, as I mentioned before, Everton were down there last season, and I reckon their fan base is not going to be as worried this time around. Because I tell you what, if I had Frank Lampard as a manager, I might just never watch a football match again. But this time they've got Dyche, and he. I certainly trust him a lot more than a few of the other managers down the bottom. So yeah, be an interesting one. But Everton, they're in a sticky patch, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, let's see what we all think next Monday, boys. We've overrun by 10 minutes, but it's been a cracking show as always, and hopefully it will finish on a high with Spurs holding out. But they are doing everything they can to try and give Everton a goal. So I just want to finish by thanking all of you boys as always for giving up your time. It's been yet another cracking show. You guys in the chat, if you've enjoyed the show, I'm sure you have. There's been some great talks, some interesting points.
Whoa. 65 fucking likes. Come on, guys. Let's get it up to 100.
There's still over 150 of you still hanging around in here. Please do hit that like button. But more importantly, show some love to all the channels. They're all in the description. All you got to do is click in the description, and just hit the follow button on their YouTube channels and as well on their socials. It's all free to do. And we will be back next week. And next week will be a full house. We'll definitely have Oscar. Mike will be... hopefully back to his depressed self. Not sorry, Mike. Everton, Mike. Mike, you're probably going to be depressed as well. Man City. But there's going to be a lot of change. I mean, I update this table on the left-hand side there as we go into each week, and I had to change every team pretty much apart. Sorry, Mike from Southampton had to move position by at least a couple of places. I guarantee you one thing, there'll be a lot of movement come this time next Monday as well. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you next Monday on Beat the Drop. And come on, you Reds.